Hey, Phoenix is rising. My name is Tennille, and I am a transformational coach for Black, lesbian, and trans women 30 to 50 who have survived a relationship with cluster B personalities, be they family members, co workers, friends, boyfriends, girlfriends, etc. And you are ready to go through the 4 steps that I guide you through to break generational curses, to get to know the Most High God better and deeper, a personal relationship in the truest sense, and regain confidence and clarity. The best part I know for me on my journey was reconnecting with my authentic self. So I am also not just a coach; I am a survivor of gang stalking, witchcraft attacks, still ongoing, and narcissistic abuse for over 10 years. Of course, I had 2 parents who I was separated with early, but nonetheless had a effect on me, who were both narcissists and or cluster B personalities, as I like to say. So in those 10 years, though, recently, I was homeless for 3 of those years, starting from in 2017. And I survived because the divine took me through 4 steps, pardon me, to my spiritual, financial, physical, and mental freedom. And these 4 steps are reveal patterns and beliefs that keep us in poverty in all areas of our lives, not just in finance, and not living from our authentic self. 2, heal. When trauma happens, we only get maybe a fraction of it. So when we look at what is being revealed, we're able to heal the situation because we are no longer running from what we're afraid of. We're no longer running from looking at the situation because we maybe feel shame, guilt, or whatever, right? So understanding brings healing. When we know better, we do better. 3, grow. You release fear, guilt, and shame and forgive yourself and others. So when I say others, it does not mean that you have to go, hey, I forgive you. Knock on somebody's door who's still a narcissistic sociopath, okay? That's not it. Forgiveness usually comes in step 2 when we've a combination of step 1 and 2. It's been revealed to you what that situation was. You faced it. You've owned your part. You saw who the players were. You know the what, when, who, why, and how of the situation. And so that way, I mean, it just kind of naturally, when the pieces of the puzzle are still missing, we have holes. We're fragmented. Once those pieces of the puzzle are added to the scene, then we start, oh, okay, now I understand, right? And so we're no longer carrying that, if we're honest with ourselves, because that's what happened for me. And so then 4, so in 3, grow. You grow from releasing the fear, the guilt, and the shame, and forgiving others, including yourself. And you are no longer carrying the baggage of that situation, right? So spiritually, the demonic entities and that little demonic social network is not. It doesn't have you're not giving the devil a foothold, right? You're not giving the devil a foothold. That's what it's meant, because a foothold is what? Something that is a hole. When people go and climb rocks, right? Um, they look for a hole and something that they can hang on to pull themselves up to the next level, right? So as you're transcending, right, or ascending to higher places, you are patching up those porous uh, sites or spots in the mountain, right? So behind you is the devil and his minions, right? And so they're climbing up and they're whatever. So if you skip a step, you don't do it authentically. I can lead you to water, I can't make you drink. I can do a 60-minute session with you. You can pay the $90. And if you're not being authentic, if you are not being real, it will be a waste of your time, not mine. Because I've done the work and I continue to do it every single day. This is a lifetime thing. I'm tired of people calling themselves chosen and people saying that I'm an empath and I'm a heyoka because it's popular. It's the new age crappy jargon, when a lot of us are still able to present good information to you while we are still under severe murderous and violent attacks. The only way that we have survived is because we did our work. So after, when you've done it, when you're no longer carrying, so then 4 is to show. So when similar, this is why I say this is a lifetime. So when similar situations happen, then you don't respond in the same way. You were in the world, phoenixes, you are not of it. And the whole point of you being down here is to be an energy source for demonic entities that want to steal what they know that they cannot have. Archons, reptilians, etc., 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 cannot have the creativity because they're blocked. The only thing they literally think about is killing, stealing, and destroying, taking over what is not theirs and mimicking and trashing the place. Okay, so right now I'm not doing sessions, and in the future there will be a 8-week program, 2-part 8-week program called From Sealed to Healed, where I literally take you through first part is about cluster B personalities, what, who, what, when, where, and how, and why, what their tactics are. And and I know, you can read this by yourself, but I'm coming from a spiritual perspective, as somebody who just recently, for the last 2 days, they've been trying to stop my heart or cause me to have a heart attack. Okay, so you don't just say, oh, I'm gifted. Your gifts are actually there to help you, and everybody has them. I wake up every morning, I have to purify myself. I have to say my mantras and say my psalms because somebody has been working on me at night. And I can feel it. My eyes start itching for no reason, or my sight gets blurry. That's the person who's doing it, because they're older than Methuselah. Okay, so anyway, so I want to come from that. The first part is, what are they? What do they do? It does no good. The reason why people keep getting stuck in narcissistic, the paradigm between the narcissist and the empath, is because it's become commercialized. Number one. Number two is because if you can't come from a spiritual approach, you're not coming at all. You're keeping those patterns. They need to keep you in the wheel. Why? Because they got a certification, and they need clients. Just like a pastor needs you to keep coming to church so he can pay for his, the cost of his jet fuel or her jet fuel. You feel me? My thing as a transformational coach, which has been so hard since I've started this 3 years ago, 2 years ago, actually. Now, coming off the streets and being really fresh, and the most frustrating thing as a transformational coach and an art coach is that you have people who are clinical, and we see these TikTok videos, and everybody's dolling themselves up for the TikTok video. And I was thinking about this. It's like everybody has to doll themselves up and put on makeup, and it kind of becomes a minstrel show, and I refuse to do that. And also, when you do TikTok videos, you get 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 60 seconds. Is Instagram too, right? You may do an Instagram live, because you've enjoyed the short ones and short things, and you're expecting to be entertained. I've noticed when I first started this, a lot of people talking, narcissistic abuse coaches were, all animated and whatnot. And it's like, it's not that I'm not animated, but this is serious business. People are dying from this. People are acquiring induced health issues because they don't know what they're dealing with. I saw a TikTok, and I'm on TikTok, yes, but I'm not into the minstrel show, the buffoonery. I'm on TikTok because there's good information, and I want to find my soul tribe, right? I got different. I have Rising Phoenixes Designs, Phoenix Rising Academy, and Blue Phoenix Rising Media, as well as my own personal profile. But yeah, it's so the cool thing about me, I believe, is because I can get into, yeah, I know, that demon, I saw that demon, or being clairaudient, clairsentient, being able to see into the spiritual realm, being able to see my attackers, being able to see the demonic entities that they're attack trying to attach to me. Right? It was just literally an hour and a half ago that I was attacked, and I thought, okay, well, let me get on here. I mean, and it's extremely frustrating as well when um when you know that they have no power, but still they're gonna act as if they have power, because they don't know what else to do but what they've been doing for majority of their life. I didn't save it, dang it. Anyway, there was a lady on there talking about, she said, it was a 1960 something uh film documentary, and a woman was talking about, okay, I don't know, okay, sorry, I was trying to find that for you guys, but I can't. So the woman was talking about being able to identify whether, sometimes people just come out with sicknesses, your head's foggy, or your she was basically telling the symptoms. This, I think it was 1978 or something like that. She was telling the symptoms of people who 10:10 on my clock, of people who are under witchcraft attack. And I've had all that. And she took some salt and, probably like distilled water or something like that. I don't know if they had that back then, but anyway, she rubbed her hands and, got in it, and she said, it just purifies you from, she goes, she calls it a witchcraft, something like that. And it was beautiful. But so, it's out there, right? And so I am creating a community of us, Phoenix's Rising Academy, to learn, to grow, to form bonds together. This is not a competition. Okay? This is not a competition. And I need you guys, I want you guys. My desire is not to make money off of you. I do charge for my services, period, because I've earned it. But you are not my cash crop, right? You're not my cash cow. The Most High is there. I've put in so much work. I'm a gazillionaire, if that or giga. What would be the next one? I'm a gazillionaire, multi-gazillionaire. Let's just put it that way. So it's not that the blessings aren't coming; it's the blessings are being blocked because demons like the one in this picture don't want you to benefit. And that's another thing that we talk about in the 8-week course. So in the second part of the 8-week course or program is, once you know who you've been dealing with, you can identify those people or it in yourself. We can all adapt. We can be narcissistic at times. I've been narcissistic at times, right? Or it can be said, oh, you're being a narcissist. Well, it's like, no, you know what I mean? So, but again, and this is people who are not empathic. And empathic, I mean, I don't mean, oh, I empathize with what you're feeling. No. I know time, dates, da 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 da. I know what organs, I know, you know what I mean? Come on. Let's not play games here. But when we pay attention to fine detail, because it's being revealed, we process the data in our environment, and it does not necessarily come from trauma. If you have this gift naturally, I've told you guys in my other podcast discussions, we have natural gifts. Those who have abilities have acquired them through trauma, brain damage, which is the cluster B personality. And that's why they misuse it, because they have a childlike mind. And the demon that attached itself through that trauma is infantile in itself. So it's only thinking about, who can I sleep with? Who can I cheat? Who can I murder? You know what I mean? Who can I do? How can I get a quick fix? Right? And a permanent supply. So, yeah. So in the second part, then we go into getting you to your authentic self with what you know now about cluster B personalities. Because when you really get into cluster B personalities, and this is like the common denominator around with all of us, no matter whether we're authentic or not, as far as coaches, psychiatrists, psychologists, or whatever, is that there is well, not all of us at least, but a lot of us do know that these are entities. These are not regular normal people. These are entities. This is a demonic Borg, Archon, reptilian group. And that's the reality of it. I saw it when I was a kid, and I didn't know what it was. I literally saw a Jewish male, which that's you got to. I mean, and this is why I've always said you got to die to your race, you got to die to your gender, you got to die to whatever cultural precepts or norms that you've been conditioned. You got to die to your previous programming, because when we came in here, we already knew that we knew that we knew. And what the reason why we go to school is not to learn anything or to remember anything, to put those puzzle pieces together. Because you see, people are going to school doesn't mean that they go to get jobs once you get a degree. Hi, booger face. What's wrong, honey? You want to come down here? You want to come down? Or you want to stay up there? Oh. Is she playing with you? Did she got your bone? Leave it, Prosperity. No, you're not supposed to have it. I gave these guys, sorry about that, you guys, Phoenixes. I gave these guys a treat of bones, but I never let them have it while I'm gone or at work or anything. And Prosperity was double fisting both bones. I was proud of myself. Good job, because it was very meaty. And I boiled that stuff and let them have it because it's healthy for them. But I got a little one who has some digestive issues with stress or whatever, because again, we're under attack. It's not as bad as it was before, but and we're being attacked in our body. We're feeling a whole bunch of stuff. Anyway, let's get on topic. So before, the Most High God said, the last live that I did, to start saying the Psalms. And I'm going to say Psalms 91, and I heard the Lord's Prayer too. So let's get it going. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, she is my, or this is the way I say it, but I'll say it the way that it is. He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in him will I trust. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thine eyes shall thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. Because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling, for she shall give her angels charge over thee to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. Thou shalt tread upon the lion and the adder, the young lion and the dragon shalt thou trample under feet. Because he has set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he hath known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life will I satisfy him and shew him my salvation. Amen. The Lord, in Psalms 23, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen. All right, now. So, as you know, and there's a reason for protection over what I'm sharing with you guys and for people who come in here. Gosh, this is really getting annoying. Um, these attacks are off, 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 off. Um, so today's topic came to me a while ago. I'm going to say about a month ago. The ogre that is pictured here is Olga Texador, and she is a sex offender. And I do not mind saying it. I am not one to ever tell anybody that you need to keep what anything secret. This woman tried. She thought that I was going to be weak, that I was going to be a black with low self-esteem, and that she could manipulate me using the tactics that her gang, which practices witchcraft, oh, moved something, you guys. Let me fix my audio. Right now it's doing with the, there we go. Okay. So, anyway, so she's a part of the Northaniels, and she is a gang stalker, and they have taken over California. So, you know, you got, it's like a head of the octopus, basically. And they think that anybody that they set their eyes on, they can have and target and do whatever they want to do. And she thought that of me, but she didn't know the spirit that I had inside of me. And they like narcissists, malignant narcissists, socio-psychopaths, love to exploit. No, sorry, love to exploit a traumatic situation so they can come in and seem like they're your savior, right? Which is always just because somebody's helping you. That's what I learned while I was on the streets. People do not help you because they really want to help you. People help you because they can get something from you. They can harvest you. They can basically take you to the butchers and have you cut up in quarters and hinds and drumsticks. You know what I mean? And that's what I experienced when I was homeless. Was people wanted sexual favors. People wanted access to my mind, right? They were always fascinated with me, but they were too intimidated. See, be careful when somebody says that you're intimidating, because to be intimidating means that they have a low self-esteem. And because they have a low self-esteem, they are going to use nefarious means to get to you, to find out information about you. I think that was the reason why. I mean, well, that's not the reason why, but it's what the social media ended up being. Because as soon as I've even done it, as soon as you find somebody, it's like, okay, I want to look them up on Facebook. One thing too, and I think this, some people don't have, like, I have profiles that I really don't screw with, right? I've used for business. Once that business is conducted and it's done, I'm done, right? I don't get on social media like that and tell my business to everybody, right? And I still don't tell my business to everybody, except for, on here. If I'm gonna share things that are helpful to people who are going through stuff. But social media has enabled people to get information without going through the process of getting to know who somebody is, right? And especially, I've noticed this, especially if you're Black, they do not want to get to know who you are. They don't. It's this. I'm not clear on what it is, but it'll segue into the childlike energy, the power of Black children. because the person pictured here, like, as I said, trigger warning too, is a sex offender, but she is Puerto Rican and Italian, and she targets Black children, Black women who are mixed with Mexican, of mixed race, with children, and she goes after them. But with her, she uses witchcraft as well. And witchcraft doesn't have to mean that you are, doing sacrifices daily to Santa Muerte, though she does perform that. That's a monthly, bi-weekly ritual from what I remember, from where I came from with her and the Northaniels. All because they're harvesting energy. They want to grow their territory, right? You've already taken care over California, so now you're going to Atlanta. You know what I mean? But nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to talk about that. So, and that's okay. But I'm not going to lie about it. You can call me racist, whatever you want to call me. But children and women are being targeted, and this person specifically targets Blacks because she feels that they're stupid. They're weak and they won't fight back. So it was a shocker, and she has gone into a psychosis. I have put this creature, this demon, who has been doing this for God knows, I'm thinking about 30, 40 years. Doing with, being a gang member and being involved in that type of lifestyle, and basically using witchcraft to take over properties, which means that they will break you down. So they will make you homeless, and then they will isolate you and you won't get a job, right? Like anybody who does that for long periods of time, like she has, you get thrown off because, and I went in reflecting, because she has still been blocking me from doing the documentary. So, but in hindsight and reflecting as I'm going, just writing the script out, when documentaries, you write a little bit of a script, like what do you want to talk about based on what you want to show the audience, and as visuals. And I remembered, it's like this, this, and my guides were immediately talking to me like, no, this person, narcissism. Well, narcissism led to borderline personality. Borderline personality led to sociopathy, right? Just so all sociopathy led to the cluster B cocktail. That's when I realized. And then another definition, not another definition, but another awareness was that she was grooming me. I had no idea. Like, I literally had no idea. And for, the thing, people think, oh, I'm aloof. And, it's like, no, I'm the type of person, so when they blame us empaths for, oh, well, you didn't stick up. No. We have natural built-in protection. I have never once, well, let me not say never once, but it is not a pattern, has never ever been a pattern of mine. If somebody doesn't like me, if somebody is hostile, and I'm a Virgo too. So if you're hostile and you're given, my spidey senses are woo 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 woo, and I smell a stench on top of everything, that's I'm already gone. I'm not keeping you around. And I am very much comfortable. I've never met people who are so mad that when other people are comfortable in their own skin, it doesn't mean that I am still not at my goal weight. I still don't have that rock solid stud body. I still don't, I'm still, I have not accomplished, the goals that I set out with even, 5 years ago. But I know now the thing of it is I guess I'm that type of transformational coach that it's not about getting to the goal as more than not even enjoying the journey, but that'll help you. When you get epiphanies, that's like, oh my gosh, wow, right? When you start to understand, like, it still blows my mind when you hit that point of where dealing with a cluster B personality, dealing with a narcissist, has made your life so surreal that you start seeing yourself in other timelines. You know, it's like, huh, okay. So then there is something different, right? There is something that um is out there that I need to know, because the thing with people with cluster B personality, with character disturbances, is that they they're not working from the same paradigm. They're not working from the same template that we are. Their thing is not to heal anything, let alone their bloodline. They don't care. This creature is so in this the picture is so evil. She feels that people are her possession, and she will work day and night to get what she I had this woman hacking my email, and she forgets what she says because she feels that she's God. So she's like, oh, there's not going to be any repercussions. Well, she had already told me what location she had to, the psych ward was basically that she was at. And so when it came up with that location, I said, oh gosh, she's in the funny farm. You know, she's coming after me through here. You know, I mean, and I'm not laughing at anybody who needs, a respite or to take a break or whatever, and or needs to use those types of facilities. But this person uses those facilities, and I have no idea who's, I mean, because she's already been in jail where she should have been in prison. And she should have been in prison for kidnapping a woman and her child and keeping them. I believe that said in the article, because there was a newspaper article on her, tough, but it was botched up because she will use energetically. When you have that much evil inside of you, you don't want people knowing your business. You don't want people being able to, you're embarrassed by yourself, but you're going to keep doing it because it's all that you know. So she repeatedly offended this woman and her child because she wanted to dominate this. She has a thing with dominating. And what the reason why a lot of people go after blacks and hate black people because of our strength. Period, point blank, because of our strength. A lot of people, they want to be us, but they don't want to receive the repercussions that we've received for being who we are. That's what makes me so mad when you have these Adeles and these I think even Kehlani is considered, a soul singer, and I'm thinking, or the Songas or whatever, and they're, they're white, they're Hispanic, and pretending to be white or whatever. And you have our songstress out here. You have African American songstress out here who are blowing it up, but because they won't shake their ass, or because they won't show, cleavage or whatever, because this is for demonic consumption, right? This is not even for white supremacist consumption. This is for demonic consumption. Black males in the music business who have been outed as being bisexual, and sex offenders. And still they're here. Puffy is not in prison. R. Kelly seems to be being quote unquote vindicated for being a sex offender. So, gosh, what was the other guy who dated Janet Jackson? And what was it, Immature or somebody? They were saying that, they were sexually violated. So there are people who specifically attack Black people, and it can be other Black people attacking Black people, but it's specifically Black children, and the energy that comes from being a light in a world that is dark. As I said, this person, this creature, this demon who's featured here in this thumbnail is Puerto Rican and Italian, and she's, false pride or whatever, and whatever she's claiming. But she hates Black people because for seeing through her. We have gifts and we see through. So she takes vulnerable. She takes the vulnerable of us and she attacks psychically. She grooms. She attacks through, first she'll groom the mother, then she'll groom the child. The thing that really got me about this demon was that she was telling me, and this is all unsolicited because she was in her own world. This creature had been doing witchcraft for so long and so intensely. Like, this is the power of your minds, Phoenixes, is when this was why you can think of anything. It's like, okay, I'm going to have this. This is, I have this already, right? So it materializes. If you think about Star Trek, right? And if you think about when they went to, oh God, I forget what it's called, but and they would speak to it and say, a double chocolate latte, mocha, and it would materialize. I have a double chocolate latte mocha. Boom, materializes, right? But a lot of people think that, oh, if it doesn't happen right away, well, it's because I'm not doing it right. No, a lot of times you just have to be out of your mind. You can't overthink it. You just have to feel it. I remember when I felt it and I got a scholarship. I got a scholarship every year to pay for my college. Like it was that kind of thing. And so, and I listened to a snippet of something yesterday, and it reminded me that's what I used to do. Right? On top of just the universe always giving to those who are ready to receive. People like Ogre here are jealous of the inheritance of Black people. Racist as all get out because she believes that she is a slave master. She is a master and that you are the slave. And in one thing that I realized when I was in the Sacramento, where the gang stalking, basically the gang stalkers, this North Daniels gang, they call themselves Northerners, whatever. They ruled. They literally use Black people as slaves to escort them and be their bodyguards. Once I saw it, they were like, oh shit, she sees it. Right? So a lot of the attacks on my crown, a lot of the attacks on my third eye, a lot of the attacks are trying just to literally kill me, sacrifice me to whatever demonic Artem and Satan, right? So all these attempts on my life have been because I see right through them and they can't deny it. They don't deny it. You can't call somebody a racist when they have proof that this is what you do. I mean, you can, but you're going to look really stupid. And because they have a grandiose sense of self, and that would be a narcissistic wound that they give themselves, they're not going to do that. Let's see. And so, I mean, that's what I saw. With not just with my spiritual gifts, but just in person. And really, they were really focused. They were protecting Hispanic children. They were protecting Mexican children. Even if you were a part of the gang, and there were a lot of sex offenders who were in this Northerners gang who were coming up, in newspaper articles. And the Most High would just lead me to them. It's like, see, you're correct. Because that's part of it. When you're sex traffickers, you're selling fentanyl. I would watch them sell drugs to the people on the streets. I would watch them go after people who were newly on the streets and get them all drugged and doped up so they would never get off again. So I know the system and the structure. So that's why these guys have been really adamant in killing me and calling me a racist, because it's like, Hey, that's our go-to, but you guys are active sex offenders. And so when with this person, what I've seen is that these guys want innocence. These guys, as I've said before in other podcasts, cluster B personalities are lazy. They do not want to work for their bread and butter. They don't want to work for their housing. This person right here will call you stupid, lazy, a mooch, like she called me, but she doesn't have a job. She gets welfare because there's no way that in San Francisco or in Benicia you can have a 200 and well, no, 300,000 condo. How are you paying? You can't even pay that down with Social Security. So it pays to be a northerner. And when accuse people of, or they didn't accuse them, you bluntly knew that they were doing it. They were picking and choosing who would get an apartment based off of your affiliation and your loyalty. You had to sign a contract with them. I watched that happen when I was a security guard at the library. A lady came in and took one of her family members and said, okay, you got to sign this and you got to sign that and you got to do this. And it was really sick and toxic. It was disgusting. Just the energy around that whole thing and how she was manipulating, because he was fine before, but once he got in there, he changed. Some people in Sacramento were so used to the terrorism, the control that they had over this city, that they didn't think anything of it. Like I was really the oddball because I started speaking up, and it wasn't because I was trying to take anybody down, but just to get them away from me. But you'll find with people with cluster B personalities is that they get amnesia. They're absolutely delusional and they have this grandiose sense of self. So with that concoction right there, you have somebody who will stop for a little bit and then go back and plan how to differently do it, how to do it differently. And usually they use witchcraft. So they'll focus on the mental. They'll focus on throwing and projecting themselves, the negativity towards you. Like I don't know how many times with my clairaudience I've heard somebody say die, and it's like really right behind me. Like I had for Valentine's Day, somebody was really on all over me, and I was like, and they were like sappy drunk or whatever, and it's like I don't even know what the hell that was about. You know what I mean? Because I don't celebrate holidays. I stopped doing that a long time ago. I will celebrate my baby's birthday. I'll treat myself because I'm so grateful, on my birthday, but that's about it. Usually the Most High God will usually ends up giving me presents or whatever. That's been our relationship, right? But when you get to that level, what's will happen is that they'll stop. They realize that you are a favored child of the Most High, and they will start blocking that energy from coming towards you. Now, mind you, she has not done this by herself. These guys, they don't care if you're a sex offender, but they want that energy. And if you are anything like me, we have the heart of a child still. You could be 80 years old and still be, pliable and flexible and all that stuff. I've had them literally attack my body because they didn't like the youth. Now, yes, I would say that when these guys don't have jobs. If they get jobs, they're not really doing too much because now they have a job, right? They got to feed their babies or whatever, right? It becomes so they don't have to participate as much. But one thing that I realized again was that these guys don't. There is a surplus and even when you're Black people give off the most energy. We just give off the most energy. And when you have that people who are dying, this person, I've seen several people who have been in witchcraft for so long doing it. And sometimes it doesn't have to be that long, but there's the intensity that you do. And I've even seen this in cartoons, about witchcraft or whatever, like Snow White or whatever, or, Ursula or whatever, where they're uh, hair tones white, right? I've also realized that a lot of them would, because they're always energy harvesting. That's what you want those black people around you. You may hate them, but you want them around you. And I was thinking that about Mexico and the Nigerians. I don't believe that we were sold that it was racism by whites, but these were Mexicans, which are considered white, but let's just say it plain. And one thing I realized is like, well, when you come from a place that values, you know, um, that worships Santa Muerte and all that stuff, you when they and the or no, what was the Haitians with voodoo, right? They speak French and Spanish and Italian and all that. They speak multiple languages. So number one, you don't have to condition them. Number two, they're grateful to be out of Haiti. Number three, they're a great source of spiritual energy, and you can siphon all you want to, right? But it's the children that I'm worried about. And when I created this thumbnail was probably 2 months ago now. It was because this person, since we've moved, right, we've transitioned. The Most High God said, go, leave, to a better place, and so we went. And uh, there were times where I would wake up. This is how you're under a spell of somebody, right? Where they're creating this illusion. They want you to be trapped in their mindscape. Sometimes the world is not bad. It's just somebody who is projecting their consciousness of being unconscious, right? Being in a dead place onto you, because misery surely does love company. That you start your it's because it's spiritual, because it's energetic, right? There's nothing that you can say and to pull it down or say, okay, well, I don't want, you may be saying into yourself, I don't want this. What is this? But because people, it's not an open, ready party discussion, right? Oh my God, you know that this person threw their consciousness at me, and I was in their wounded place, and it was absolutely disgusting, right? Like, and I don't mean like wounded place, like I'm trying to heal. I have been in people have shared what these guys will do. Like I said, misery loves company. And it's not the first time that I've had this happen to me, and I don't think that they even thought, but I did get one self proclaimed witch calling herself Urban Goddess, who I had done some video work for. And she took misconstrued something, and whatever. But anyway, I cut, ties with her, and she never would leave it alone. She was literally projecting her consciousness. So she would project, astral would project, and she would follow me. And I ended up going to places and and she was so possessive. One thing that these guys are possessive. So when they target you, and or they have an experience with you, you're their possession. That's what they think. So Ogre Texador, pictured here, thinks that I am still her possession, because she won't say that. That's like when I had, she had to call the cops on me because I was about ready to go into a blackout and take her out. I was done. I was done. Like I've never experienced that before, where a woman, right? It's not like a saying that I haven't had somebody be a female, which is why I specialize again with focusing on the Black lesbian community, specifically Black lesbians and trans women 30 to 50, because I mean, and beyond. I mean, anybody can join. If you relate, you relate, right? But this is something we have to start talking about, because many of us do have kids, right? I don't have, human kids, but many do have kids, and you don't realize that women can be sex offenders. Women are also sex offenders. They are also pedophiles, which is, sex is offense of, you know. So, I'm trying to remember what I was saying, but yeah. So anyway, this God, it was important too. At least to me, it was. But yeah. So anyway, this, I mean, again, she's a sex offender, and oh, Olga Texador, sex offender, and what? Oh God, it was right there on the tip of my tongue. Jeez, I forgot. Damn it. I hate that when that happens. But when you're using witchcraft to get your way, right? And you're attacking children with witchcraft to make them, because oh, that's what it was. I may not go this on the same vein, but basically she liked to influence people. She liked to influence you by and it's not really anybody who projects their energy, their thought energy. Everything is energy with us, right? So if you have somebody who is projecting their thoughts to you, and because this creature was trying to convince me that we were soulmates. She was jealous when, the pathological envy. She was jealous when I was working out. She was jealous because I had dreadlocks. She was jealous because got a job. I became a security guard. She was jealous when I was able to live the van life a little bit because I was exploring it. And I was doing these things thinking that it was the most, not really knowing why I was exploring, but I knew something was getting ready to happen to me, right? And sometimes we think not everything that we get is a download from the Most High. She was letting me know. She knew that I was going to become homeless this was all hindsight 2020, right? But when I lived with her, all of a sudden, this is the Most High. The Most High said, I wanted you to know who's responsible, and it was her. It was the gang, right? Because when they can't get to you, they will attack you. So by making me homeless, they thought that, oh, she's going to be more vulnerable, right? Which is why they start going after the kids, because they don't want to fight. That's what I was thinking. I was saying they don't want to fight. They're lazy. They don't want to fight. They want to just have something, and they want to be able to see the results. This demon, you think these eyes are bad? I mean, she's absolutely horrendous. This is a mid journey thing that I did. But her real face is like she's absolutely nuts. She's wide eyed everywhere and just double. I mean, like she's disgusting. But they do her and another person. I was realizing, gosh, these guys are really doing. They're trying to mask the demons that they're becoming on the outside, right? So when you've allowed your vessel to become a house, a kind of group home for demonic entities, right? You become them. You start looking like them, and that's what I mean. Olga's looked like that for a while, right? Um, and that's what I was talking about with the hair graying, because they're doing so much. So they try and keep their life force. And usually one thing I've realized, especially with Hispanics, not just, I don't deal with a lot of white people. I'm just being real. I mean, I've been gang stalked for 15 years. Right. And if the worst that I have received was not from white folks, was from Hispanics, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, even Asians. Because the two female stalkers that I have right now, and there's another one, I was like, oh God, the where we're staying is this woman, became, I knew she was attracted to me. I wasn't feeling her like that, but I was just like, okay, acknowledged it and went on. But I noticed that she started doing the telepathy, she started doing the astral projecting, and I'm like, is this culture? Somebody let me know in the comments, right? Is this the culture? Is this part of, because I don't know, because now that since I've tapped into it, and I've been opened up to it by being attacked by somebody who over astral projects into people, right? Like I see her in the spiritual realm just laying back in her room, focused on me, right? And I feel tethers attached to me. So I mean, like when I say, when you guys got to do your work daily, you got to make your spiritual practice daily. Psalms, reading the Psalms, check out some Vedic mantras to help you ward off evil entities. Just, you can start simple and go and move up. That's what I did. Clear your chakras, because when they throw witchcraft at you, you have to clear your chakra centers. Learn to fast. Unfortunately for me, I was under such heavy demonic attacks that I ended up going from intermittent fasting to starvation. And my body shows that. I was overly working out because I was stressed, because I had nobody to talk to. I was purposely isolated. And the weirdest thing is to be 3,000 miles away and still be feeling the remnants of this, right? Still be feeling attacked. So yeah, when these guys want an energy source, and one thing that I've noticed in my experiences, especially with this person, this most disgusting thing to experience as an empath is when you have your astral terrorist in your energy, and suddenly they are craving, that lust for children comes out. Olga Texador. This is why I say her name, because go ahead and sue me, do whatever the hell you need to do, because I'll make copies. I'll make 1 million copies and drop them from a helicopter if I need to. This woman is a violent sex offender. She gets people, she goes after anywhere from 13 to 25-year-olds. And those that she likes, and she knows she's never, this woman, she was even telling me, oh, I go to this bar because this lady's here. And she showed me her Facebook. She's a bartender in San Francisco. Okay, so, well, I could never have somebody. Okay, so you have so basically, right? Like she's, oh, I have a low self-esteem, so I'm going to go there every day. And because I know her, she's been in my energy field 24/7. And I'm not exaggerating. I would love to believe you me. Before we left, I had to ask the Most High God, can I please? Can I please? Because I don't want to go into my new life, right? And I still haven't had to, unfortunately haven't been able to have the new beginning. That's what she's preventing. When you have people who are preventing, not only that, but this person. So, it's really hard. It's really hard. So anyway, I had this person in my energy, and I was creating, I've said this before, I was creating some artwork, and it was, featuring Black children. And all of a sudden, it was her, and she was lusting after these kids sexually. But Mango still lets her DJ for them. Being around all those, young lesbians and whatnot. She's already said, what she thinks about Black people. Black people are literally just an energy source for her. Black children she likes because she doesn't have to fight. And I know how sick that sounds. But I know as an adult, I have people siphoning my energy. They don't want to know. When I got to my job, these guys didn't want to know, okay, where did you come from? Where'd you go? They didn't want, and I was okay with that because I really didn't want to tell anybody anyway. I'm there to work. I can be cordial. I can be nice. I can do small talk for a little bit. And it wasn't that they were attracted to me personally, but anytime we set a boundary, whether we verbalize it or we shut our energy down because we realize we're being siphoned, they will concoct something in the material world, in the 3D world, to shake you off. The reason why they attack you is because they want to discombobulate you. They want to make you feel bad and then open back up again. I remember when I was staying with somebody before I became homeless, and she was doing that. She kept getting into my mind, and I'm like, God, this lady's vicious with it, And So I started shutting myself off, and she was like, no, no, no. Right. And in that area, it's like floating through astral parasites. Like you see some of these like Ghibli studio films, right, where they have this surreal world of the afterlife, right, merging with real life or with living life, and you see all these different creatures that are manifesting. And in Yasha, you saw these demons. That's what it's like. I mean, it's like literally like a couple days ago. I think it was a Thursday or a Wednesday, and I'm at work, and I'm, of course, I'm the workplace mobbing has not stopped. It's just now they're on the run, and I'm on my way out. So, and it's like, God, I didn't want to have to do this. You see what I'm saying? But anytime you are come in contact with a narcissist with a cluster B personality, they will, and you reject them, they automatically go in for the kill. And sometimes most of the time, people don't do anything because they're shocked. They're shocked. There's a guy now who just got hired to work a COVID station, and I can already tell by his energy he's one of those violently hyper, and he doesn't care. Before he was quiet. Now all of a sudden, because the energy has changed and it's fitting him. When he first got there was some peace, there was some civility, right? There was different stuff. It was a whole different type of vibe. But now when that vibe changed from being harmonious, and I was working on it because I just met, Astral Jack of the Ripper. And when she left, when it left, the demon on her, because she stunk to high heaven, but she thought that she was the most, and just weirdo stuff. Oh my God. I'm tired of having these experiences, but I'm bringing them to you guys too, so some of you can relate. So, and I was purifying it, and I took possession. I took spiritual possession over that site, and I declared and decreed that anywhere that I stepped, it became holy and sanctified ground, and no demon or energy or fragmented spirit would be allowed to be in there. Doesn't mean that they don't come, because other people don't have that. Right? But if they can they'll manipulate. So when you have somebody projecting, when they can't get to you, they go to other people, right? And they don't know their reality from fantasy anymore, and they're completely trapped, literally, in the spiritual world. Because they're always astral projecting, right? So. And I guess for me, the power of blackness, and especially black children, they go after black children because they like to see the fear on their faces. They don't want to see an old, powerful soul. And it's because we're ran by these narcissistic, psychopathic child molesters, sex offenders. And nobody wants to say their name, but we know what they call themselves, which is not true. We know they're bastard children, flying under the POC banner. So it's scary. What was scary was the intensity, and she thought that it was okay, but she forgot that, and this is what she would do all the time, is because she really wants a buddy in crime, because, you got gang members who are pedophiles. You do rich sex rituals. You sacrifice people and animals and whatnot too. So she would forget who she was talking to, who she was, oh, now I got to deaden you. You can't go anywhere. You can't do anything. Like, this is somebody who is obsessed with trying to be God and keeps failing every time. So because she's failing with adults, she's going after children. I was sick to my stomach after I felt that. I was sick to my stomach. I mean, I actually had to stop. I just to stop and cry. I had to stop and cry because here, this creature right here, you're looking right at it. This ogre, DJ, Flamingo. You know, and the other thing that hurt me, I'll end with this, and I wanted to say more. Thank you, Prosperity. I wanted to say more about this topic, but I realized that I can't, because it would go beyond trigger warning, and because I mean, like I said, you guys think that it's all cool and a fad to be an empath. Uh, you're really not doing your work. You're really not doing your work because it's not fun. It's not fun knowing in detail that somebody was planning on killing you. It's not fun when somebody is tampering with your DNA, with your organs, so that you have a heart attack, so that you have high blood pressure, right? Or so that you have IBS, or so that you're a drug addict, right? Because when they know that you're strong in the spiritual realm, they have to influence you. I've said this before, Phoenix is rising. They have to influence you. I think this is why I don't succeed so much on social media. I can't influence you. And when I sold candles and stuff, it was like all you got to do is smell it. You either like it or you don't. You know, I mean, I'm really like that. Like you either like it or you don't. I can't convince you. I don't want to convince you. If you don't like my brand, please move on. If I don't resonate with you, please move on, because I am not going to start painting myself up and trying to buy extra clothes so that you're satisfied, so that you'll listen to me, because that's basically all people do. People will sit up in here and do their makeup just so people will listen to them and they can get more views. I got plaques already in the spiritual realm. I don't need a YouTube plaque. What I need is for my Phoenix's Rising Academy to be about their work. That's what I need you guys to be. It's like everybody's going out and nobody's, you know what I mean? It's like, are you guys coming back or not? Because the reason why people like Olga Texador are, going. So let me say this. I was at got a gig at a post, and one was having a quinceañera, the other was having a birthday party. Literally black gangbangers, I believe. They were wearing red and black. So I think they were Bloods. And the quinceañera. We're trying to project royalty. It was a black, gold, and maroon theme, but people were coming in there, wearing black and whatnot, or wearing red and black and whatever. And I remember this all too well, right? So, but I wasn't triggered by it, and I'm so grateful to the Most High God for helping me and taking me through, and my angels and my guides for getting me that, because here, I didn't carry all that with me, because I actually healed, right? And I was still going through the trauma. They were still attacking my body. They were still trying to make me sick. They were still trying to get me fired from my job. I was not stressed. I was not stressed. So, I mean, I was still under heavy attack. But the thing of it is that, the clarity came, I think, basically with fasting and being able to see. When I got to my authentic self, there was no looking back. And so, like I said, I got this Dilbert who keeps trying to get me to forget who I am, because even though she knows that she's been defeated and that day is over, right? It was moved on. And that time is over, that she's not in, but this is the thing. When you have somebody who is a cluster B personality, when you get into, this is the benefit of getting into your authentic power, Phoenix is Rising. not just so you can protect yourself, but so that you can protect your children from predators. Because you've grown up the child in you. You've grown up that little girl in you. You've grown up that little boy in you if you're trans, right? You've grown up that child, that inner child in you. You've healed it. Not saying that child does not stay a child. That child is still your child. That's you. That's your heart. But now, then I remember when I felt that, it's like, now I can effectively protect you. We don't have to be in fear together. I can effectively protect you. There's nobody that's going to come after. I mean, and I did. This is why I listen to the Most High God instead of other people. I got people, since we've moved, I've got people who are so, and it's the most weird thing. I've gotten used to it to a point, but I know the signs. I got used to it as a sign. When sometimes God will use other people to talk through for him or for them, because I've always asked them to do this, Phoenixes. Please speak to me in a way, Most High God, my ancestors, my God, my guides, my soul tribe. Please speak to me in a way that you know that I will understand about such and such and such and such. What direction should I go? Should I do this, or whatever, right? Whatever it is, but ask them, please, to answer me in a way that you know that I will know that it's coming from you. And the reason why you have to be specific and ask specific detail is because, like my spiritual mom Henrietta told me at one time, she said, the devil will pretend will mimic a blessing that God's about ready to send you, because they're both in the same realm. They're both in the same realm, right? I had blessings on blessings on blessings on blessings coming to me, and I literally looked up from which come my help, and I felt that cloud, this twit right here. And it almost, and what they'll try and do is they'll try and screw your relationship up with the Most High God, right? Starting from birth. The reason why she attacks kids is because she wants them fragmented just like her. But she wants to make up for lost time at the same time and siphon energy. But she's been doing this for 40 years. This is a 40-year sex offender. She's never been caught. Why? Because she uses witchcraft. And that's the scary thing. This is why you have to get on your spiritual game, Phoenixes, because when you have pedophiles like her, female pedophiles, succubuses are female sex offenders, because they have already targeted you. They believe that you are now their property. They are using whatever form they have taken, demonic form they actually are in the spiritual realm, has already marked you and connected, tethered something to you. I had a succubus. I've told you guys the story before. I had a succubus who did a domination spell. Like, they have something about just dominating people. And again, because I'm Black, they thought that, oh gosh, you're going to be an easy one because you're just going to be passive aggressive. You're a stupid Black person. To this day, she still thinks that we're going to be together, or that she'll be able to get money from me. You know what I mean? Like, they obsess. They obsess. They don't stop. You're going about your business. You're 3,000 miles away and they're still obsessing. So this is because when we have people who have the ability to project their consciousness, their imagination. Think about this. If somebody is imagining, and think about the movies that you've seen, put them down in the comments. If somebody is imagining being with a child, right? Because this is where we're going. You're imagining having illegal, trigger warning, illegal relationships with a child through your mind. Your mental imagination is so detailed and so intense that it produces an effect in the realm of your target. This is how we know that our partners are horny, because they're projecting that at. They may be looking at us like, I want to get, you know what I mean? Let's get it on, right? They may project that, but so we have to understand everything is energy. Everything is energy. Everything is energy. Everything is energy. Your imagination is priceless. When you say, I have $1 million, go through the process in your mind of getting that $1 million. Because when you have a sex offender who is going through the process, because this is where it's going, because people are tired of going to jail, they're tired of being made to look stupid, right? And it's not even to look stupid. They're tired of being embarrassed because they have that false sense of self, that grandiose, sense of self. And so they're, people think that I'm this way because this is the mask that I adorn when they speak to me. You would never know because she's mimicking somebody else's personality. This woman, she also had revealed to me that she learned that she had a mentor, quote unquote, which is basically somebody that, because, and one thing I realized with Ogre, and I find this to be true with narcissists and the sociopaths and the psychopaths and that whole cluster B cocktail, is that they say one thing. If they told you that they don't do something, they do. So, she she said I had a mentor, and they don't talk, and I've said this before in another podcast. They don't talk like we talk. They may say the same phrases, but it means something totally different. Issa said you will know them by their fruit. Right? So this demon astral projected to hoover and spy on me, feeling that I'm her property, still trying to continue on her toxic patterns, induce it in me, force it onto me, even though I'm 3,000 miles away, and gave herself away as being a pedophile by sitting there and literally lusting. And when I I'm not even sure what I did, because I was gripped by fear at one point, but then I was like, gross, you need to get the out now. And it's exhausting having to constantly reclaim, because this bitch is obsessed now. Forgive my language, but this, just thinking about this, it's like, God, go away. And they don't, right? Like, I think that some narcissists eventually will, but this one is not. Because she's been so used to, especially killing, maiming, raping, doing what she wants to do to Black people, and Black people willingly offering themselves up. So when the story with the Quinceañera and the red and black, and trying to give this off, this, where regal, where we got money or whatever, we're better than you. And then when I looked at the Black people, it was like they were literally almost rotting from the inside out. They couldn't give eye contact when they saw the Mexicans, because that's that grandiose sense of self versus low self-esteem. I saw Django. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I saw the remake of Django play out before my eyes. I'm just saying. So, what you think of yourself, whether it be real or false, you got people who can't live up to anything. They get their businesses and whatever. I had somebody say, well, it's because we're the only ones who are doing the jobs. No, you're not. You're the only ones who are literally keeping people from getting jobs, because that was my experience in Sacramento. They were keeping people from getting jobs unless you signed a contract, unless you were down with La Raza. And, say what you will, but that was really what it was. You had to be down with the Northerners. You had to be down to be a snitch. You had to be down to be a monitor. You had to be down to be a gang stalker in Sacramento, California, if you wanted to have housing. So yes, when you're getting denied, there was a lot of white and Black people on the streets. And I'm tired of the stories being watered down just to fit somebody's grandiose sense of self, so you don't give them a narcissistic wound and they don't attack you. When I was at this event, and I could see the different sides, like, you know what I mean, and the children. One thing that pissed me off so bad, and it really did, and I was calling them names. I did not hold back, because I was about ready to rip them. I don't care what set you claim. You're irrelevant. You're just, I mean, it's like I was so saddened but sickened at the same time, because there was this little girl, and everybody kept walking around her. They did not want to touch her. Like they were literally offering her up. We had to let them know. There was me and another SP. We had to let them know, keep her out of the street. They didn't care. They were mad because we mentioned something. They finally just put her in the car and kept her there. Gratefully, it was only like 70 degrees. You see what I'm saying? Versus the Quinceañera crowd and their kids, you know, running around playing. And they looked, and what I saw was when the guys would go out, and the black guys would come over to the Mexican guys, and oh yeah, we do this and we do that, and you know, all I heard was, yes, the boss. That's all I heard. And I'm not saying, what I'm saying is I'm pointing out how when you have a low self-esteem, you will kowtow to everybody. These weren't white men. These weren't really even men. These guys were out of Quinceañera, and they got mad at me because I guess there was supposed to be something going on that they couldn't do. They didn't want me to judge it. And they're masked afterwards because there's going to be a party bus and drinks afterwards. But basically what was going to happen is it was going to be sexual. And you know what I'm saying? Like they were getting ready for it. That one little girl made a comment. I mean, these guys were in their teens. And they made a comment, and they were like, oh yeah, you know, you're getting ready for the sex. I mean, like, wow. Like, I actually heard that. When they got through, it's like the mask came off, and they kept trying to look at me during it. And I just kept looking the other way. You know, I'm not going to give you guys eye contact. I'm here to do my job, right? I'm not here to perform for you, And I was the only one. The other guard, black male, the other guard was just sitting, and he actually went to sleep for about 30 minutes. I let him too. I let him go to sleep. And after, when they were leaving, they said, oh yeah, thanks guards for doing absolutely nothing. We didn't have to do anything because you were too embarrassed to do whatever you were going to do in front of us after trying to make yourself look so special. Now, I don't know. This isn't because it was a Quinceañera group and just labeling it that, because that's what the event was. But it's just, you know, there's two different minds, right? Their kids were well-dressed and well-groomed in appearance. Didn't mean they all shed their masks and started looking like demons. At the end of that, the birthday crowd had gone. The Bloods had gone. You know, I just said a prayer for the little girl, because nobody wanted to take care of her. Nobody wanted to do anything with her. The dad didn't even want to touch her. The mom didn't want to touch her. I wish that I could have videotaped how they were walking around her as if she had the plague. It was the most bizarre and hurtful thing to watch. You have to start protecting your kids. You protect your kids by raising yours up. I am tired of Black kids being buried, Black kids being ignored. I can't be the only one that sees this stuff going on. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of people like Olga Texador not having to at least work to feed. Because you got some boss, massa boss, ready and willing to sacrifice their own children. And it was only that little girl. There was other, I watched, and there was another mom who was like, she had her baby, but nobody wanted to touch this little girl, which I'm not saying, nobody wanted to give her love and affection, pick her up, introduce her to the environment. Nobody. But yet you had the Mexicans who were acting as if they were entitled to my time as a security guard. They were entitled to that place. Their kids were running around towards the end, and I told them to calm down or go sit down. They were like, no. It's like, well, you're not going to keep running around. You see the difference. And it's hard getting Black people to see themselves. It's hard. The 8-year-old with an iPad who was violently raped by a stranger. Where are the parents? And that's the type of kids that the little baby, because this woman, I mean, this creature, this demon, goes after little kids like this who are unattended to. Because the parents were, something said in my spirit that she may be autistic, be on the spectrum. But when I saw the dad couldn't give any eye contact. He looked like, you ever seen a bar of chocolate that has, this white film on the back of it, right? Because it's been there for a while. That's what he looked like. It's ridiculous. It was ridiculous. And so, and that just, and having this woman, and so that's why I brought it up today. And finally, it's like, let me go ahead and deal with this. Because it's hard. It's like, what do you say? And I'm not, I have the right to focus on my culture, my people. Because it's all children. But I also know, and if you guys have ever listened to Joyce Meyer, Prosper Hazel, it's okay. If you've ever listened to Joyce Meyer, what she describes of her trauma growing up as a child, and being violated by her father. When you hear it, that was somebody that was selling her, that she was sex trafficked. And Mama J raised me, she raised me. I listened to her, religiously daily. And I would get mad, be like, hey. But no, I love her to pieces, So we as Black people, you need to start stepping up your game. Black women, you need to actually start doing your work instead of putting on these Muppet eyelashes, getting these. But I've seen this stuff. I've actually seen it, by the dominant, quote unquote, race that lives where I'm at, and they'll that's why I've noticed that they dress up for everything. Like, you're driving a Porsche, but you're getting EBT. You're mad because you don't got EBT, but you got your lips done, you got your cheeks, you got some botched surgery, you got the bubble butt, done. I don't know what that's called, the BBLs or whatever they call it. I guess that's the name for it. But you know what I mean? You come in here, but you get, but you think you're so special and you think you're so much better than everybody, right? And I thought to myself, I was like, how are these guys getting these social services? And you living in Mexico, but you getting welfare EBT benefits here. You know what I mean? I still don't understand it, but it's not mine to ponder. But so our priorities are screwed up, and I think the Black community is screwed up, has been overly traumatized, and we need to take that break. We need to understand that we have always been dealing with demonic entities, and that we were never the problem. That's when I took myself through the 4 steps to my authentic self, led by the Most High God, I realized that I have nothing to feel ashamed about. Like, even like I was saying the other day, and I'll end with this. I was saying the other day to the Most High, I said, it's really hard. I'm scared. Um, about a lot of things. I'm upset because I have been fighting demons like this obsessed sociopath who put herself in a psychosis because she didn't realize that my spiritual team don't play about me. And I'm not just saying that to say it. They really don't. They really don't. There's been times where they've had to yank her. And they will do what you say. Your guides will do what they say, what you say. I know a couple of mine by name, 3 of mine by name, and there's more. There's more. I didn't believe it when people would tell me, God, you got a great spiritual team behind you, and because they would look above me, and I just thought they were being rude and disrespectful, like you don't want to give me credit, right? That was my ego. Now I understand, because now I'll be like, no, I'll say the name of my guides, and I'll be like, incinerate. I used to, and I've done it before, when you really focus your mind in that realm and you really mean what you say. You watch the thing. I said there was a guy that was following me, stalker or whatever. No, I'd asked something. I said, make sure. I said, I do not want these people around me, and remove them when they're around. And my babe, my guide, my soul tribe, my homie. Really, I mean, they was not playing. They said, They said, and they took him out. And he yelled because he didn't know what the hell it was. But when they're getting ready to do something, they will focus your attention on it, and it'll be like somebody's just turning your cheek, right? Just turn it, grabbing your, touching your face, just turn it in a direction, you know. And so I saw what happened. So your spirit guides do not play about you, but you can't play about them. They are there to protect you. And they do. They will protect you with or without your direction. But I have had to direct them. This twit, anytime, I can always feel her, because her brain chemistry is off. Like, she's just, I don't even know how she's surviving. Like, when you have somebody merged, because she's a body snatcher. So, and that's what I was going to say. Her, basically, she said that she learned from a mentor about DJing, and then she said, well, yeah, she died. No, you killed her because you were taking on her identity. So, but anyway, having this, when you have somebody like that, that's very low vibing, like, not even, she wasn't even human. It wasn't even human. Like, I don't even know the brain would, I'm like, my brain, I was like, you got to get out, as I said. And I had to really focus, because she was hell bent. What they will try and do is literally hold on, attach. Like, I've had devices attached to me. This twit was attaching. I finally got it off like a year or two, almost now ago. And she will still continue to, because she don't stop. Like this, it just, even in real quote unquote life, in this hologram, she'll wear the same shit over and over and over and over and over and over again. Right? She'll wear the same crap over and over and over again. Never do anything different, unless somebody makes fun of her, and then she goes after them and tries to destroy them and slander them, and then do what she should have been figured out for herself to do a long time ago, But my guide had to grip her out of my body, because she wanted to be a security guard so bad. She takes on other people's identities, and she slowly tries to kill the person whose identity she's taking. She has survived as a parasitic symbiote. That's how she survived. And she survived off the energy of Black people and Black children. So anyway, that was really hard to talk about, but I'm hopefully that it helps somebody. Because again, if you guys have any questions, just go ahead and DM me. I am free. I wish to get back online, quote unquote, but until um, the Most High deals the final blow, I know a lot of us are kind of like, I don't even, I don't even know if it's worth it, but don't give up. I mean, because I've been feeling that way, but I'm like, gosh, I'm not going to go through this again. You know, we may not be where we want to be. What Mama J used to say, Joyce Meyer, Pastor Joyce Meyer would say was like, if thank God I'm not where I'm not where I want to be, but thank God I'm not where I used to be. And we don't have to. When they start doing those looping spells, a looping spell makes you do something over again, and sometimes they try and do a specific time period, right? Because they want to have possession. They were trying to get you back to when you were pliable, get you back to when you were feeling some type of way, right? So don't give up on yourself, and if you guys have any questions, I know I'm kind of feeling it right now, and just as long as I keep connecting with you guys, that's all that matters with me. So anyway, if you guys have any questions, please visit my go in the description and click on some of those links, see if you like my designs. I have calendars that you guys can pay for and download yourselves, and all that. And so anyway, I love you guys. Thank you so much for your support of my channel. Thank you so much for your comments and your likes and subscribes. And thank you for vibing with me. I truly do love you guys. And remember, your blessings are in your ashes. Rise, Phoenix.